welcome back for a new season of Driveway. We've got a bunch of things going. We got prototyping of stuff, and this kind of season is a little more about creating something completely different versus just modifying something. So we've got a project going on right behind the camera that you'll get to see kind of unfold here in the next couple videos. So of course we got the tubing bender out. We got a whole bunch of things that we get to tackle for this season. And hopefully by the end of it, we get to go out and have a whole lot of fun. So anyways, there's a lot of stuff to get to and not a whole lot of time. But before we get everything rolling, I just want to thank everyone for showing up again. It is a little difficult to wrangle the normal life with working in the garage, and that's kind of where periodically I need to take a break to get some other things done and to not lose my mind as well. But anyways, we're gonna get back to rolling. Hopefully we'll get a video every week from now until the project's done. So there may be a week in between where we might skip a thing, or we might have 2 videos in a week. Who really knows? I only got so much time in the week, so yeah. Anyways, let's start this thing off with what we did with the Raider as I was trying to clean up the whole yard so I can get this project rolling. Anyways, let's get to the videos, and hopefully we can see you again later. Alright, hello and welcome back to Driveway. Today, as you can see, the trailer's working pretty well. So we're going to tackle a little bit of something else before we get into the busy season of getting some stuff done in the shop. I'm in the process of cleaning up this area. Got it pretty well spruced up from the trailer build and parting out the Explorer. So get a couple doors out of here and we'll be good to go. But part of the cleaning up phase, I need something a little more decent for the front of the Raider. Primarily this little tiny winch that I rigged up for the snowplow. That needs to go away for something much bigger so I can move some of these heavier items around this operation. So that's gonna bring us to getting a new bumper and a winch for this guy. So I'm gonna start off by ripping off everything that's here so we can see what needs to be modified to fit something that's supposed to fit on a Jeep. So let's get rolling here, then we can take a look at what I picked up for cheap. Alright, so now that we've got that off, we can see what we need to modify with these frame horns to mount this Jeep bumper. Well, we're kind of looking very similar to that. We're gonna have to get a couple boards and a little more support to try to hold it up kind of where it belongs there. It'll be probably a little bit higher. We'll get her probably about here. I think that'll kind of work out halfway decent. We'll clean up the rest of these frame rail pieces, and I'll get some brackets started going so we can convert this thing to the mounting pattern that the bumper has. So that's probably going to take place here probably tomorrow, because I got some more stuff to do and more cleaning. So yeah, let's check back in a couple moments. All right, so I got the frame rails on the Raider all cleaned up, and as you can see here on this bumper, we've got a section of channel, C-channel left over from the trailer. We got them kind of braced up on the mounts where they go there. So essentially all that we have to do now is wheel this thing up kind of where it should sit and throw a little more steel on there, give her a couple zaps and weld her up good, and we should be good to fly. Now first step, we'll kind of measure how long of a section we need to extend the frame rail, and then we'll be able to clean up wherever that's going to sit and weld, so we don't have that nasty stuff for welding. Alright, so we got the extensions hooked up, and then we cleaned up our big channel up in here about the point that it should meet up with it. So now all that we really need to do is grab the welder and tack these rails onto this bumper. Then we'll remove the brackets and get some finish weld on them, and we'll be able to button this thing back up, and we'll be sitting pretty nice. Alright, we got those brackets zapped on. They're, how shall we say, pretty well welded up in there. They're not fully welded on the frame rail pieces, mainly because if we need to slightly tweak it a little bit, now is a great time to do that. So now we just have to put this bumper up on there and go from there. Alright, that's not too bad. Now we'll be able to grab the welder and finish welding that piece onto the frame rail. Nice. Alright, as you can tell, it got pretty ugly last night, so we had to put everything away real quick and wait for all the weather to pass. But we got to get some stuff rolling, so let's just remove the bumper again so I can get in and weld up those frame horns a little bit better. Alright, so we got our brackets all welded up in there. This kind of looks like the Farmer Special, but that's kind of the type of rig we're working with. It's like we added this top brace to try to help out that winching capabilities, so hopefully it won't tweak things up too bad. So now it's pretty much to the point that we just hoist the bumper up there and bolt her down. Alright, so that actually doesn't look that bad. It is a little bit higher on one side than it is on the other, but we can tweak that at a later point. Now I think I'm just gonna wait for all of the snow to disappear before I tackle the wiring for that winch. Then we can test that thing out. But of course, before we do that, we can go review what I've actually thrown on this thing. Okay, so like I mentioned before, this is just an El Cheapo Jeep winch bumper that I just picked up off of Amazon. Costs like 200 bucks, and it kind of has everything that you really need. The winch, I just bought this Zeke 13,000. It actually performs halfway decent, according to like Project Farm had that on one of their things. So hey, if it works, it works. The downside with this bumper is lightweight. That also means that it's lightweight. So it's only built with 1/8 inch steel, which if we got anywhere close to maxing out this winch, we're probably crushed that whole bumper like a pop can. But I'm guessing I'm not gonna get anywhere near what this thing's gonna be able to do. So the benefit with that is this thing's not really actually rated for 13,000, but I figure this thing should be able to do 5,000 all day long without even breaking a sweat. It's very similar to that Stegadon one that I put on the trailer, and that winched the Explorer up there effortlessly. So with as light of a vehicle as this guy is, this should work pretty well and shouldn't really rip everything apart. So of course it's got these multiple little fog light guys. I didn't have any lights down here, so I figured that should be pretty decent there. Then it's got these weird little light ears up here, so we might be able to find ourselves a small little light bar to put up there as well, and we'll be all set. Now for another downside of this guy, they did not prep the surfaces very well at all before hosing it down with whatever wrinkle paint this is, because right here it just chipped right off, and you can still see the kind of like the pickled and oiled edges. So this thing was never like run through a media blaster or anything. So I've got some touch up to do. We'll go pick up some black texture paint and just kind of hit some of these surfaces. Maybe take a sander to them to kind of not draw too much attention. So there's that. Now in the future, if I decide I don't like this gap over here, we can always come through, build it out. We can get like a piece of steel or something, bring it in there, and kind of finish it off. But kind of for what this rig is, I don't think that's gonna really bother me all that much. This guy is a little more function over form, so we just want it to perform what we need it to do.